good morning, and welcome. Happy Wednesday. I am Jaddy with Tired Moms Go Digital on a journey towards financial freedom through digital marketing, and also here to teach you how to start your online business, because the digital marketing industry is going to be worth billions by 2026 and trillions by 2030. So if you are not in the online space in 2025, I want to know why. Okay, the opportunities are absolutely endless. It's just a matter of time if you start with the right course, right? The right product that you are in alignment with so that you can succeed. Okay, because this business right here, it's not for the weak. Joe Thriero, good morning. This business right here, it is not for the weak. And today we are going to be talking, right, about one of the biggest mindset blockers in the online space, which is, Carrie, good morning, which is self-sabotage. We do it to ourselves every single time, right? And I feel like when you jump on in the online space and you decide that you want to be, Tiffany, good morning, and you decide that you want to be an entrepreneur, right? Working on your mindset is very important, but also learning how to block off, the limiting beliefs, the self-doubt, the comparison, the self-sabotage, right? We just need to take the time to work on our mindset. So when those feelings creep in, we acknowledge them, but we can easily move forward. Okay, so today, obviously, we are going to be talking about self-sabotage. Yesterday, we talked about limiting beliefs, self-doubt, and a couple of strategies on how to break free from those. But I'm just going to give it a little bit of time before I get started, wait for a few more people to join. But that is going to be the topic for today. And I just wanted to speak on this because I am seeing way too many people struggling. I am seeing way too many people quitting their journey before the magic starts happening, right? Just because they allow feelings to take over. And I am familiar with those feelings because I felt them at one point in my journey, right? I would just be so negative and just kind of like train my brain to believe that I wasn't worthy of the success, that I wasn't techie. So because I wasn't techie, I couldn't figure things out. And I would tell myself, I can't do this. This is so hard. So the more I would tell myself those things, the harder those things were to complete, right? Because it wasn't really that I couldn't figure it out or that it was hard. It was that I was already training my mind to believe that I couldn't. Okay. That is why one thing that I talk about a lot during my lives is to be nice to what you tell yourself, okay? Be easy with yourself, okay? And if you feel like something is going to be hard, instead of saying this is hard, I am never going to figure it out, refrain from I am learning and this might take me a little longer, but that is okay, but I will get it done. When you start training your mind to believe the positive, right? You start getting things done and you move differently, okay? You move differently, okay? You move with purpose. Wendy, good morning, which is very important in this space as well, okay? And I just feel like all of this, right? We can break free from self-sabotage. We can break free from limiting beliefs. We can break free from self-doubt if we don't start working on our minds. Mindset is important, okay? As an entrepreneur, a positive mindset, right? And resilient mindset is crucial, right? To be able to handle challenges, obstacles that are thrown our way, and learn how to, thank you so much, Wendy, for my heart me. And not only that, but also embracing the opportunities. Instead of saying, oh my God, I failed at this, we can see it as a learning opportunity to move forward. Okay, that didn't work. That means I need to go back to the drawing board and strategize and see what works, okay? And not for nothing, but this business and this digital marketing business is 80% mindset and the other 20% is strategy. Okay? Literally 80% of success is mindset while the other 20% is strategy. Good morning. Nice to see you. Of course, love. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining. Right? So if 80% of this business has to do with your mindset, it goes to say that you need to take your mindset, working on your mindset, very important. Okay. A lot of us are too sidetracked, right? By making money because we see so many people making money, right? So we automatically start this business and we think that we need to instantly start making money. I just feel like if I had a mentee that is going to ask me, how can I get started? One of the first things I'm going to give them as homework is to work on their mindset, either while they're starting the business or right at the beginning. Okay. Because beginners out of all of them are the ones that struggle the most, right? Because beginners that are ready to get started are already brainwash, right? That this is easy. This is Mickey. Good morning. That this business is easy. Not only that this business is easy, but the money is gonna come right before the first payment plan is due from the course that they just invested on. But that is not true. If you don't have any sales background, and yes, sometimes. Shalene, good morning. Sometimes people get lucky and they make money right away, but sometimes that is not the reality. And I want to say a good 90% that is not the reality. Okay. I jumped into this space because a creator, like literally, she just painted all the pretty pictures for me and told me this is so easy. Like you only need to 1 to 2 hours a day. That's another lie. Okay. So when I found myself with all these courses and with no direction, all of that started, the self-doubt, the self-sabotage, all of that started to creep in because I didn't have the support and I had no idea what I was doing. So that's why it is important. I feel is a topic that is not spoken about often. Thank you for the follow. And I am going to talk about it this week. My focus was mindset. And the reason why I decided to focus on mindset is because I am seeing way too many people struggle with mindset. Okay. We need to break free. If you want to succeed in this business, whatever that business is, if you're reselling a course, if you're doing TikTok shop, if you are doing UGC, if you are doing Pinterest, if you are doing Etsy, it doesn't matter what your online business looks like. Your mindset needs to be in the right space in order for you to succeed, period. Okay. So now I am going to recap what we went over yesterday, and then I'm going to start with the self-sabotage topic that I have for today. So first and foremost, thank you to everyone who joined, right? Yesterday's conversation on limiting beliefs and self-doubt was deep, real, and definitely needed, right? What are limiting beliefs, right? Limiting beliefs are the internal stories we tell ourselves about what we can't do, right? These beliefs feel like facts, but they're actually mental roadblocks that stop us from taking aligned actions, right? So examples, right? I'm not good on camera. No one will buy from me. I'm too late to start. I'm not tech savvy. I'm going to stutter over my words. Those are all limiting beliefs blockers, right? That we train ourselves to believe, right? Then what is self-doubt, right? Self-doubt, right, is that constant inner voice that questions our ability, value, and worthiness. It's the whisper of, what if I fail? Jolie, good morning. Lisa, good morning. What if I fail? That stops you from even starting, right? Because right there, you are already blocking, right? With the negative Nancy behavior. No offense to any Nancys in here, right? So what are common patterns in beginners, right? Hesitating to go live, overthinking every piece of content, starting and stopping over and over again, fear of being judged, holding back from selling, comparing constantly to others in this space, feeling like an imposter. Thank you for my heart, me, Jolie. And what are the root causes, right, of these patterns? It could be childhood programming. Be quiet, don't brag, cultural expectations, especially for women and moms, right? Generational beliefs, you have to work hard, right? Don't dream big, right? That's all a dream, not a reality. Previous business failures and lack of representation, right? Like, no one like me is doing this successfully, right? And then what are strategies to break free? You need to identify and reframe the belief. Challenge your inner dialogue. You need to do affirmations and mantras, right? I get to be seen. I get to win. I am unstoppable, right? You need to expose yourself to proof. Follow people who inspire you instead of following people, right, that allow those self-doubt and limiting beliefs to creep in, right? Those people that you're gonna compare yourself to, if they are not going to help you grow, right, or be successful in this space, then guess what? You need to get rid of them. Unfollow them and trust and believe that they don't care, okay? Angela, good morning. Trust me that they don't care, okay? That you unfollow them. So just get rid of them, okay? So now, and then, right, you need to learn how to celebrate small wins. Okay, celebrate small wins. It is very important. Good morning, right? And get in the room. Be in a community with others that are doing the same. Other people that want to see you win. Other people, Lucinda, good morning, that want to see you succeed. Okay, and last but not least, take imperfection action, right? Clarity comes from action, not perfection. Okay, thank you for my heart, me. Again, clarity comes from action, not perfection. You are never going to get good at something if you are not out there putting in the work. That is just a reality, okay? And I am here to tell you exactly how it is. Okay, so now we are going to get started, right? Talking about self-sabotage. So your business right now is to tap that screen, show your girl some love. If we did 30 yesterday, today I want 40K. We need to get to 40K today. So tappity tap while I preach, right? Because you are going to leave this live and you are definitely going to find a strategy that you are going to break free from. Okay. So my beautiful people, if yesterday was about the mental blocks, right? Today we're diving deep into the actions or lack of actions that keep us stuck, right? And we are not about being stuck. You already know that. We're not going to stay stuck. Even when we say we want success, that's called self-sabotage. And it's one of the sneakiest ways digital marketers get in their own way. Okay, and we are not doing that. Good morning, everyone. Right? Oh, I don't know what's wrong with my computer. Sorry. Okay, so what is self-sabotage, right? Self-sabotage is when we subconsciously or consciously engage in actions that block our success, progress, or goals, right? It's often not loud or obvious. It's quiet, sneaky, and disguised as the I'm just not ready yet or the I need more time. It feels like hesitation, but it's rooted in fear, doubt, and distorted sense of self-worth, right? It's not just procrastination, right? It's missed opportunity. It's making excuses. It's hiding from visibility, and it's almost always driven by fear. Okay, as creative marketers, right? As content creators, right? As digital marketers, we are often so self-critical of our work that we look for problems that actually don't exist. And I know this is for a fact because I see a lot of you guys come in here in my live and tell me, right, how you overthink every piece of content or you overthink everything. Lisa, good morning. Right there, you are self-sabotaging yourself. Okay? One second. Never mind. I don't know. I got a notification. I wanted to read it to make sure everything was fine. But anyways, right there, right, by overthinking everything, by being paralyzed, we are already self-sabotaging ourselves, right? We do this, right, because we fear failure and what other people who probably don't care think of us. It's what I was saying, right, not too long ago, where I said that we often get judged, right, by the people that we love the most. So why should we care what strangers have to say about us? Let me just say that what you have to say matters to somebody out there. But if you don't come out here and you start talking, then you're always going to be invisible, right? Then you're just going to stay right there stuck. Right? We need to start getting comfortable with the uncomfortable, right? Because somebody out there is waiting for us to speak for them so that they have the courage to speak for themselves, right? To tell their story, to start their business, right? We are going to be able to make that impact on them, okay? And of course, right, finding fault in something is far easier than seeing any positive progress as a step in the right direction, okay? But this is more than just a work-related problem, right? We often use the same ridiculous standards to judge ourselves as individuals. This, of course, is amplified by social media. Why is this amplified by social media? Because there's so many people out here, a good 90% of people perceiving, the perfect lifestyle, when in reality, we don't know how hard it was for them to get there. But I get it, right? Because they're putting up this facade. It's just easier for them, to be more likable, to just showcase the pretty, but not over here. Okay, not over here. Over here, we are authentic, we are raw, and we keep it 1,000%. Doesn't matter how messy it is, okay? Period. Now, what are some examples of self-sabotage behavior? Okay, avoiding visibility when your brand needs your face and voice. It could be creating content but never posting it, right? It could be jumping from one niche or strategy to another instead of sticking to one thing and staying consistent. Or saying, I'm working on it for months but with no actual launch. I'm going to give you a perfect example of this. When I decided to start my online business, right? I was so afraid by what people were going to think of me, right? That it took me about 3 months to create my first piece of content. And this is before I started reselling a course, right? This is when I was in the high ticket affiliate marketing space, right? I did that for about 8 months, right? So I started with a group of people, right? Because we were taking the trainings together. We actually joined a community together, right? And then I would see 3 months in, I would see these people thriving, making money, but why? Because they did what I was afraid of doing, posting that piece of content, right? And their first pieces of content was messy, but the more they did it, the more creative they got and the better they got at being exposing themselves out there. And let me just say that when I started this, faceless was not a thing. So your face was your brand, okay? So because I was too busy just working on that supposedly kind of content, making that kind of content be perfect, right? Which it was never going to be perfect because I was new at this, right? I was paralyzed, right? Because I allow self-sabotage, right, to drive that car for me. Right? So I was just a passenger in the car. Okay? But we are no longer going to do this. Remember, self-sabotage is often fueled by perfectionism, fear of failure or success, and a deep-rooted belief that we are not enough yet, right? Not ready, not qualified, not worthy. Not anymore. Not anymore. Okay? How it connects to other mindset blocks, right? So self-sabotage is closely tied to what we spoke about yesterday. And that's why I wanted to do it back to back, right? So yesterday we talked about limiting beliefs and self-doubt and comparison, right? So I'm going to tell you, right, Cass, good morning, love. I'm going to tell you how self-sabotage is tied very closely, right, to limiting beliefs, self-doubts, and everything else. Good morning, babe. So for limiting beliefs, right, self-sabotage is going to tell you, I'm not ready. So it becomes a procrastination instead of you taking actionable steps, right? Self-doubt, right? It leads to second guessing, overthinking, and paralysis analysis, right? Imposter syndrome, right? Self-sabotage is what tells you, who am I to teach this? So you ghost your audience instead of showing up. So you go from being consistent to probably not showing up at all, right? And then comparison syndrome, right? You start strong, then see someone else ahead and you quit. Right? You see somebody doing better than you, right? So you're like, okay, well, they're doing better than me. Why is this going to work for me? Deanna, good morning. So we are not going to do that, right? It's not that you don't want success, right? Good morning. It's that some part of you doesn't believe you're ready or worthy of the success coming your way. Amber, good morning. Thank you for my heart, me, right? Again, right? It's not that you don't want success. It's that some part of you doesn't believe you're ready or worthy of the success coming your way. Stormy, good morning. Oh, I am so happy that I am speaking to your heart today. So happy. I got you. You are here for a reason. Okay? For a reason. Okay? So now let's talk about why digital marketers, right, struggle with self-sabotage, okay? Let's break this down, okay? Many digital marketers, especially beginners, find themselves stuck in self-sabotage loops because one, fear of visibility, right? When you're suddenly putting your face, voice, and ideas online, it can feel unseen. Maybe you were taught to stay small, play smart, right? Thank you so much for my hands and heart, right? Maybe you're afraid of being judged. Thank you so much. Thank you for my tiny diny, right? So I am going to give you an example for you to really understand what I mean. You say, I want to grow my business, right? But every time it's time to go live or show up in your stories, you freeze. Thank you for my roses, Deanna, right? You literally freeze. You record, right, 20 takes and delete every single one of that recording that you did. Guys, we are going to take the actions and we are going to be messy. Doesn't matter. We are going to be messy, okay? Because again, if you are too busy or waiting for that perfect post, you're never going to be ready. Not only are you never going to be ready, you are not going to push forward, okay? My problem, thank you, Jennifer, for my heart me. My problem is social anxiety and awkwardness. And I understand, Stormy. I completely understand because I've dealt with that, right? But that's where, working on your mindset is very important. Okay, like I said earlier today, right? 80% of this business is all mindset, while the other 20% is strategy. When you build a strong mindset, it doesn't mean that because you have a strong mindset, you are never going to have self-doubt, limiting beliefs, self-sabotage, comparison syndrome, imposter syndrome. What having a strong mindset will do is allow you to acknowledge those feelings that you are feeling, brush them off, and push forward. You see the difference? Instead of remaining paralyzed with that feeling, having a strong mindset is going to allow you to break free. Acknowledge the feeling, be an adult about it and say, okay, Stormy, you are going through, you're self-sabotaging right now, girl. Snap out of that, clap yourself out of that, right? If you take the time to just incorporate a mindset strategy every day, or maybe on a weekly basis, where you say, and write it down on your planner, in a notebook, in a sticky, Monday and Wednesday, I am working on mindset, whether that is listening to a mindset podcast, Whether that's visualization, right? Just visualizing the life that you want to live, right? Like live it, right? Live it, live in the near future that you want to see, right? Whether that's writing down in a gratitude journal, right? Where that's doing affirmations, right? Or daily mantras. You need to pick one and stick with it. And I promise you, Tori, thank you for the follow, that you will come back and say, I should have worked on my mindset a long time ago. Okay, mindset. And just because I have been in this space a while, right, doesn't mean that I often don't get discouraged, that I often don't catch myself comparing. It happens to all of us. It doesn't matter how seasoned we are. Good morning, Chris. But it's knowing how to handle those behaviors, right? How to like really like just clip them, how to like snap out of them. That is what's important. Okay. And that is really what's gonna like continue to allow you to push forward even when you feel at your lowest. Okay. So, number 2, right? The unrealistic expectations that we so often see, right? From left to right, this is all we see, right? So, social media shows people making 10K in 30 days, 2K the first 3 days of their online journey, but no one shows, right? The months, right? Of the groundwork, of how hard it was, of how long it took them to get there, okay? They don't show none of that. They only show you the pretty, right? They only show you that supposedly it's easy, right? We're not going to do that anymore. We are not doing that. Okay. We are going to showcase and be honest, be realistic. Thank you, Chris, for my roses, right? These people show you the pretty. So when results don't come fast, you assume automatically that you're failing and you start pulling back. Right? It's not your fault. I promise you, it is not your fault. There's nothing wrong with you. It is the fault of those people that are too busy showcasing a reality that is not. Okay? What happened, Gabe? I'm sorry, guys.
Is there someone there?
Yeah, your dad was in the back. Sorry, guys. Thank you so much, Jolie, for my roses. So like I was saying, it's not exceeding limits. Good morning. Remember, we are not the problem. The problem are the people out here, thank you for my rose, that are portraying just the pretty, the cutesy, when in reality, right, they probably struggle. They probably pulled their hair a couple of times. They probably wanted to quit every other day like we did, right? But we are going to be real. We are going to be raw, authentic, and really showcase the reality of what this business is, okay? So let me give you an example, right? You post for a week, don't get engagement, right? And say, maybe this isn't for me. That is self-doubt, right? That is self-sabotage through discouragement. Period with a T at the end. Yes, okay? That right there, it is self-sabotage, okay? Who said or where is it written that you are supposed to get engagement automatically, right, when you start posting? Who said or where is it written that you are going to get people like engaging on your live automatically when you start going live? Who said that you are going to go viral the minute that you create your first post? We need to be okay, right? With just like posting, right? Consistency is what's going to allow you to see the fruits, right, of the seeds that you are planting, okay? I'm literally screen recording this and listening to this every day before I get started. Wait a minute, Stormy, I got you. You don't need to record. You don't need to record. I am adding this to my YouTube channel. So if you really want to like part 1 and 2, I already have the self-doubt and limiting beliefs replay on my YouTube channel, and then later once I'm done, I'm going to download this one and also add it to my YouTube channel. So babe, don't worry about screen recording. I got you. I absolutely got you. This is all on YouTube. Period. Absolutely. Well, so of course, yes, it's linked right in my TikTok profile, right under the Stan Store. You're gonna see like my IG account, and then you're gonna see my YouTube channel. Girl, yes, go subscribe. The amount of information, valuable information in my YouTube channel, you won't regret. Okay. Now, let's go to number 3. Fear of success, right? It sounds wild, right? But success means change, new responsibilities, being seen, losing old identity. So sometimes we subconsciously avoid what we say, what we want to say, right? Because we fear success, which is crazy, right? So I'm going to give you an example. Your video goes viral, and instead of riding the wave, you ghost your audience because you are overwhelmed, right? Instead of being excited, you feel overwhelmed, not excited, right? That you just went viral. Haven't you been praying about going viral? Haven't you been praying about going viral? Right? That is what self-sabotage does to you. Okay? Instead of embracing, you just like go hide in a cocoon. Okay? So number 4, right? Lack of direction. When you're new, right, the endless strategies can be paralyzing. So you jump from one method to another and never give anything enough time to work. If this is not true right here, tell me I am lying right now. Okay? And I actually can speak on this because that was me. Okay, I started with a course, Benita, good morning, that was not beginner friendly. I got ghosted by the creator. So then I thought, instead of like really dissecting the information, I thought, it's time to get something else, right? So then I go and I find another creator that I really resonated with, and I purchase a bundle. So 2 additional courses from this creator, right? And got ghosted a second time, right? So I am over here overwhelmed, have no idea what I'm doing, right? And I'm not finishing one program when I'm already jumping to another one, right? We do that. We do that because we don't have the right strategies. One thing I tell my mentees, Trixie, good morning. Thank you for my heart, me. One thing I tell my mentees, and listen carefully for those of you that are new in my life, right? If you really want to be successful in this business, this is what you're going to do. Good morning. Your first option, your first thing to do, I am not going to tell you, you need to buy this course right now. Deanna, tell him, please. A lot of people are going to tell you, if this course is on sale, you need to buy it right now. It's, you can start on a payment plan. No, I am going to tell you, you need to identify why you are starting this business. That should be your first business, is to write down why. And I don't want popular, right? And I don't want you to write just money, right? We're not just going to write, we want to make money, right? I want you to dig deep. What is it? Are you tired of living paycheck to paycheck? Are you tired of missing time with your kids? Are you tired of not being a present mom? What is it? What is it that you want from this business? Do you want to break free from maybe a job that you absolutely hate? Write it down. Write it down, okay? Write it down. And that is going to be what is going to push you forward every time you feel like quitting, okay? Every time that you are paralyzed, right? Every time you are thinking about jumping from one method to another one when you haven't even given that strategy 2 to 3 to 30 days to see if it works. Okay, so an example, right? Today I'm talking mindset, right? Tomorrow I'm talking UGC. Friday I'm talking about selling Amazon, right? That's not a strategy. That's sabotage by distraction. Okay, I like to keep my things organized, right? You guys already know what I am going to be delivered. That is strategy right there. I came Monday and I told you guys I'm going to go live 3 to 4 times this week. And this week we are focusing on mindset. Right? And what are things that keep you paralyzed, right, in this business that comes with mindset? Self-sabotage, limiting beliefs, self-doubt, comparison, imposter syndrome. So that's why I wanted to focus on these topics this week. Okay? See the difference? Do you see the difference? It's the same thing if you have 5 products and every single day out of the week you go live and you talk about a different product. I feel like that is a little like, that's not strategy right there. And I tell you, I teach you to strategize, right? So you don't look like you're all over the place. You literally need to strategize. So one week you talk about the products, right? One specific product. Then the following week you talk about a different one. right? It all depends what the course has going on that you should go showcase it. Good morning. Good morning, Sandy. Yes. No, actually, mindset is 80% and 20% is strategy. Okay. So now let's go to number 5, right? Old programming and generational cycles. Okay. If you were taught that success means burnout or that talking about money is rude, you'll find ways to stop yourself from having too much. Self-sabotage. Okay, so I'm gonna give you an example, right? You're gonna lower your price, right, on any services that you provide because you feel guilty of charging. That's not generosity, guys. It's self-sabotage rooted in conditioning. Okay? And that is something that I need to take on for myself as well, okay? Because sometimes I tend to be a little too nice, right? So I also myself need to be applying what I am preaching out here, okay? So, why do digital marketers self-sabotage? Okay, digital marketers often self-sabotage because this work pushes them outside every comfort zone, financially, emotionally, and socially, right? It requires visibility, it requires confidence, sales skills, strategy, and resilience. And most of us weren't raised to thrive in that kind of space. Okay, so instead of saying I'm scared, we unconsciously act out through avoidance, inconsistency, and delay. Period. I'm gonna pause there because I feel like I have not I just been talking and see if anybody has any questions about anything that we are discussing, or if this is making sense. If I'm speaking to your heart, we're good. Okay, I must continue then. What are some common signs, right, of self-sabotage, especially in the digital marketing space? Makes total sense. Awesome. Here's how self-sabotage shows up with reasons why it happens. And I like to provide examples because you know that when I provide examples, you really get to put the pieces together. Okay, I'm not just going to give you information and leave you to figure it out on your own. No, I'm going to give you an example for you to really understand how you're going to push forward if this happens to you, right? So number 1, the endless planning, no execution, right? So why? Right? You feel safer in preparing than in possibly failing, right? Then we have the example of you've had a course, right, idea for 4 months, but haven't launched, right? You keep tweaking instead of testing, right? You're never going to know if this product is going to work. And we actually spoke about this yesterday, right? If you feel like you have something good, go out there, reach out to a couple of people that you have met on this journey that you love, right? And say, hey, I created this product and I would love to give it to you for free just for you to give me feedback. That is exactly what I did recently with this creator that I've built such a great connection on IG, right? She has been in this space way longer than me, has made a shit ton of money, right? And for her to value me for feedback, and I consider myself a little peasant. She was like, hey, I created this guide. I want feedback. Guys, I went in there like a teacher. Okay. I took the time. It took me like a whole week because it was like about 90 pages. And you know, guys, I don't like to read, right? So I had to take my time and I provided feedback. When I'm talking about like if I saw that she had a typo in there, I would screenshot it. I gave her feedback. Like I feel, wow, I learned something new. I had no idea. You know what I mean? That is what you can do. Instead of remaining paralyzed and scared to launch that product, go ahead and test it out and give it to people and see what they have to say. And I'm not telling you go give it out to everybody, just a few people to hear feedback. And based on the feedback that you get, you can go ahead, make those updates, and then do a soft launch. Okay? Just like that, instead of staying paralyzed, right? Number 2, ghosting after the momentum. Okay, why? When things pick up, imposter syndrome kicks in every single time. Example, you post daily for 10 days, you get traction, and then go silent because you feel pressure to keep it up. right? So you're posting, you are finally getting the engagement. So every time you go in there, you have like so many comments that you have to respond into. So what you do, instead of embracing it and maybe saying, okay, every 5 minutes, every hour on the hour, I'm gonna jump on and engage so it doesn't become too overwhelming for you, you decide to just ghost and stop posting, right? And then let me just tell you what happens when you do this to yourself, right? When you stop posting because you are afraid of the engagement that you're gonna get again, right? This is what happens. Then you get mad because you stop posting, right? So it's like, let's say you stop posting for like 5 days. So when you post again, right, it's like almost starting all over again. Not like starting all over again, but almost feels like that. So then you get mad at yourself because you didn't remain consistent. So I'm going to tell you right now to stop doing that to yourself. Blanca, good morning. Stop doing that to yourself, okay? Oh my God, number 3, my favorite, and that's why I had to add it in here, not showing up authentically. If this one doesn't speak to me right now, I don't know what does, okay? Not showing up authentically. Why? You think you need to be someone else to succeed. Okay, an example, you mimic big creator styles even though it doesn't feel natural, and then wonder why you're exhausted and unmotivated. Okay, guys, if you know me, if you have heard this, right, if you have been following me for a while, you have heard this story, right, about the mentor that told me that I was a little too much. And if I really wanted to make connections with people in this online space, I had to tone it down. Let me just turn my camera off briefly so you guys can see the eye rolls, okay? Somebody had the audacity to tell me that I was a little too much, okay? Nicole, good morning, right? So what happened at that point, right? I was showing up as someone that I was not. Okay, Titi, good morning. I was literally showing up as someone else. Thank you so much, right? Because this mentor that was very successful, by the way, told me that I need to tone it down. So you're telling me that in order for me to make, Gail, good morning, to make authentic, real connections with people, I just had to be someone else. Good morning, dear. Good morning, love. Lorraine, good morning. So when I decided to take this business very serious, one of the things that I told myself, thank you for my heart me, thank you for my roses. Good morning, Annette, right? One of the things that I told myself was that I was going to show up authentically me, okay? I had to pause for that one because princess behavior, period, right? So I told myself that I was going to show up authentically me, and I did not care what that looked like. And you guys, look, I don't even have coffee, and you feel my energy like I am like at 1,000 already, and I don't even have coffee, guys. I'm gonna grab my coffee on the way in the office, right? But that is me showing up authentically me. This is who I am. I'm loud, right? I talk a lot with my hands, right? I just keep it real. I don't care, right? I'm not gonna break your heart, right? I'm not a mean girl either, right? But I am just going to keep it real and tell you exactly how it is, because I want to see you win, because I feel like if you win, I am winning also because I helped you to get there, right? Just like when I started going live, right? I wasn't being authentic about showing my imperfection. I would use a filter, right? Because I thought I had to look perfect, right? I thought I had to look a certain type of way. Now I don't care. There are days that you're going to see me well put together like today because I have to go in the office, and there are days that my hair is not done, that I look like a hot mess. I look like I haven't slept in days, and I am okay with that. And you need to be okay with that. People fall in love with raw, authentic people, right? Because thank you for my heart, me. Because if they see that if a person like you that is a little too much is making it out here, they're like, I'm a little too much. So that means that if she's making it, right, it makes you relatable to them, guys. So you start building that like trust factor with them. And at the end of the day, that is exactly what we want. Okay. Now let's continue. Okay. Period. telling me I'm a little too much. What about you? You boring. Bye. Had to throw that in there. Okay, number 4, creating content you never post. This is actually one of my favorites because I did this. Okay, I'm guilty, right? Why? Fear of judgment or not being ready. Okay, there is no such thing as being ready. There is no such thing as the perfect time, guys. And I am raising my voice, right? Because it kind of like brings me back to how long it took me to create my first piece of content, because I was waiting for that piece of content to be ready, to be perfect. There is no such thing as the right time. We need to post the content, whether it's messy. And one thing I do preach is that quality over quantity any given day, right? I tell you all the time, right? But that's when you start getting good at creating content. Thank you, Lorraine, for my goats. This is what I mean when you are good at creating content. You know your content pillars. You know, Trish, good morning, what to post. I only expect to see good quality, quality video from you instead of quantity. Ty, good morning. A lot of people are going to tell you that you need to be posting 3 to 4 times a day. Never. I would never tell you such thing, because I prefer a very good quality video over you just posting to say you posted. And let me just tell you that you're not going to get good at just throwing content out there. Okay. Thank you for my heart, me. Right. So an example, right? You have a camera roll full of reels, but you can't bring yourself to just hit published. Thank you for my roses, Blanca, right? Because your inner critic is louder than your why. What? Let me just repeat that. Your inner critic, right, is louder than your why. Good morning, Jody. Good morning, love. Wow, I had to put that there. Your inner critic needs to shut up. Your inner critic needs to mind their damn business and let you post that piece of content, period. Thank you for my roses, Ty, right? If you allow your inner critic to just like really stomp over you like that, I don't know what to tell you. Then you're wise. Then I need you to go back to the drawing board. Then you need to go back to that drawing board and maybe re-strategize, dig deeper on your why. Okay. This is amazing, girl. You are on fire. Oh, of course, babe. If I'm calling you out. Okay. Sometimes we need to hear it. Okay. Sometimes we need to hear it. And I'm here to tell you guys, right? Go back and really dig deeper than the first time around on why you started this business. Okay. If your inner critic is actually louder than your why. Okay. Number 5, changing your niche every month, or changing your content strategy every month, or changing your content pillars every other day, right? You fear commitment or fear of being wrong. Okay. Example, you keep saying I'm just multi-passionate, but really you're avoiding the discomfort of being seen as a beginner. I know that hurt. I had to say it. Okay, I had to say it. One thing I tell you is that don't come over here talking to me about this doesn't work if you at least do not try that strategy out for at least the minimum 30 days. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Okay. Because I absolutely love, that I used to have a lot of beginners that would jump on my live and tell me, I've been in this space for a week or 2 weeks and I haven't made any money. And because I would tell them exactly how it was, then they never came back to my live. And I'm okay. Right? Because I am not here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm sorry. Right? I'm sorry. I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to hear. Okay, I'm going to tell you the reality of this business, that if you don't mind your business, put in the work and focus on you, you're never going to win. Okay, and I'm sorry that I'm being a little hard, right? But sometimes we just need that tough love. And I say this all the time. I wish I had somebody to tell me, right, to just go for it, to just do it, right? Instead of just like sugarcoating and telling me this is easy. You only need 1 to 2 hours a day. You're going to start making money right away. That's a lie, guys. That is a lie. You need to put in the work. You need to really, really like mute everything that is going around you, right? You need to stop spending hours scrolling on social media, right? Trying to see what resonates with you. No, you just have to go out there and speak to your target audience and let them find you. See, and Tanya, good morning. Okay. Now, talking on too many things. Okay, this is another one. Yeah, Lorraine, period, popular. I'm gonna be popular. For those of you that are new, Deanna drops that popular for a reason so that I can sing, okay? And I am not a singer. But I just don't care, so I sing anyways. Okay, taking on too many things. Why? If you are here, try everything, right? Trying everything. You don't have to admit that one thing didn't work, right? So I'm gonna give you an example, right? You're juggling 3 courses, right? Building a funnel and starting UGC, but you haven't made a single dollar yet. You're doing too much. You are doing too much. Thank you for my rose. One thing that I say all the time is that when you are a beginner, even at this stage of my business, of my journey, I don't take on too much. I don't take on anything I know I can't handle. And how I like to break things down is that I really want to get into UGC, right? But I'm not ready yet because right now, my sole focus, as you guys have seen my past few pieces of content, I am determined to get into the into the TikTok Shop affiliate pilot program. I am determined. So I have been calling out TikTok to let me into the TikTok pilot program. I want in, right? Because I am already creating Amazon review videos, right? It's the same thing for TikTok. So I want in. I want to be in there like swimwear, okay? So my focus, right, is that. So you won't see me doing too much. I'm going to be talking about my products, right? Talking about my journey and add a little bit of that in there because I am on a mission, right? And then next month or maybe in July when I'm a little, right, when I'm already in the TikTok pilot affiliate program, maybe I can focus on starting UGC because UGC is just creating content for products that you already love. Same thing. Guys, when I tell you that 2025 is about making multi streams of income, I kid you not. You just have to find what you want to do and run with it. Okay, but not doing everything at once. Okay, because you are going to want to quit. You need to get really good at something before you move on to something else, guys. Okay, don't do that to yourself. Okay, you are going to fail if you try to do that. Don't be like me. When I started this journey, I decided to, go above and beyond. So I started on TikTok. I started on IG. I started on FB. Guess what happened? I got burnt out like instantly. So we don't want to do that. We want to avoid that burnout because then we start thinking that that we're doing it all wrong, that we're going to fail. So no, we're not going to do that. Okay. We are going to focus one thing at a time. Once we accomplish that big goal, then we can go on and move to the other one. Let's see. TikTok pilot. I am approved, but learning what to do. I saw it last night. That's awesome, Blanca. Yes. Girl, drop in the tips on how you got in because I need in. Yes, I was getting overwhelmed. See what happens, Ty? Overwhelmed. The only reason, and it sucks that, and guys, I keep it real. I tell you exactly how it is, right? I'm not gonna sit here and lie. The only reason why I started to post on IG was because of all the rumors of TikTok going away. So it forced me. Like other creators were telling me, okay, you are already on TikTok. Like you are already good at creating the content. Now you need to get comfortable. So I tell you, right? Don't wait for something like that to happen where we lost TikTok, right, for 12 hours and we were panicking. Like when I tell you that I was like having breakdowns, I was, because I love going live on TikTok. I don't like going live on IG. So it kind of forced me to start using the other platform. You definitely, once you have one platform figured out, you need to get good at another one. I only want to do it yourself us in TikTok and FB, period. and YouTube. Exactly. Once you get good at something, then you move on to the other one. And we are going to work smarter, not harder. So you can repurpose the same kind of content. I do it. Whatever I'm posting on IG, right? I am posting on TikTok. They don't get two pieces of content, whereas before they would get two completely different types of content, and I was getting burnt out too. Okay? You guys need to be wherever your target audience is. Okay, so for example, Ty, right? If you do, if you have IG, there's a way that you can auto post, right? So whatever you post on IG is going to auto post into your FB. I don't have it set up like that, right? Because I just felt like my audience was not in FB, but now that I'm trying to expand a little bit more because I'm getting a lot of traction on IG, I want to start doing the same and cross posting and maybe turn that feature on, right? So instead of you going directly into IG, into FB to post, you could just turn that feature on IG. So every time you post on IG, it automatically posts it for you on FB. Okay, and that goes for everyone else, okay? If you decide to use any of those social media platforms, okay? But I do think that you need to be wherever you know for a fact, Jennifer, good morning, where you know for a fact your target audience is hanging out, okay? So last but not least, then we have the constantly comparing yourself. You also, what Lorraine just dropped in the comment, metrical as well. Belinda, good morning. Danielle, good morning. So metrical, I used to use it, right? But with metrical, you can really like, it doesn't save the trending audio. And for me, that was like big. Okay. Good morning. That was big for me. Okay. Because I feel like your reels get more engagement when it has like a trending audio. So with metrical, it doesn't save the trending audio. So I actually, unfortunately, had to stop using it. But for a really long time, I had metrical posting for me on IG, TikTok, FB, Pinterest, and YouTube. On 5 platforms, guys. 5 platforms. Okay, so if that's something that you don't care about the trending audios, then you can most certainly use. For me, because of the way that I strategize, I like to use trending audio, so it wasn't working out. So right now, I'm only posting on IG and TikTok, and then my live replays is the only thing that I am adding to my YouTube channel. Okay, so yes. So it's something that you guys can think about, right? So constantly comparing yourself. Why? You measure your day 1, right, against someone else's year 3. An example, you scroll for inspiration, then you feel paralyzed because they're better than, you tell yourself they're better than me. So you feel like why should I even create content, or why should I even put myself out there when these people are already amazing at what they do? You know what I mean? Blanca, good morning. We are not going to do that. We just need to get out there. Thank you for my roses, love, right? So now let's go and let's talk about really what matters here, right? Strategies to break the cycle of self-sabotage. I want you to use this structure, this framework, right? Awareness, intention, and action. Right? So how are you going to do that? We are first going to start by number 1, name the pattern. Ask, where in my business am I holding myself back? Right? So self-reflection prompt. If I believed I could not fail, what would I do today? Right? That is something that you can ask yourself, right? Number 2, replace fear with facts. Okay? So instead of I'm not ready, right? Say, I've already helped people in this way, right? Instead of this won't work, ask, what if it does? Okay, we need to just block that negative Nancy behavior. Once again, no offense to any Nancys in here. Okay, and then number 3, right? We need to implement daily non-negotiables. This is very important. Okay, so content engagement, right? In learning just 1 step per day creates massive shifts over time. Okay, I don't know what that looks like for you. I can't tell you what that's gonna look like for you, but you need a non-negotiable every day where you say, I am going to do this. Like today, one of my goals this week was to create 3 Amazon review videos. Guess what I did? I recorded the videos, right? I recorded the videos this morning because I've been up since like 5 o'clock this morning. I recorded 3 videos, and then later when I have some downtime at work, I am going to do the voiceover doing the review on those specific products. So at least I got that out of the way, okay? So that is my non-negotiable for today, that I am there. Yes or yes, I am creating those 3 videos. Okay. So then number 4, use accountability. Join group chats, mentoring programs, or other people, or just engage with other people, right? You guys are already part of my community, right? And you, as being part of my community, we are each other's accountability partner. And I want you to say this out loud, right? Whatever you plan on doing, I will go live tomorrow at 8 p.m. and teach digital marketing. I will go live Friday and teach people how to create candles. An example for Lorraine, right? She does candles. So you need to say out loud, what do you plan on doing? What is your intention? Maybe even drop it in the comments so that we can hold you accountable. So that when you come back on Friday, I can ask, hey, Lorraine, did you ended up doing that live that you say you were going to do? I'm not calling you out if you didn't, right? But we did say that we are each other's accountability partners. So I want to make sure that you are being accountable to what you're saying you're doing, okay? Number 5, you are going to learn how to celebrate micro wins, okay? You posted a story. I'm not calling you out. I'm not calling you out. Chelsea, good morning. You posted a story. That counts. You replied to a DM, that counts. You took messy action, but that counts, right? That counts. You responded to like 5 comments, that's a win, right? You went out there, you posted the content, and now you're getting engagement. That all counts. Okay. Number 6, we are going to practice self-compassion, not shame. Okay. So self-sabotage, right, isn't a personal flaw, right? It's a pattern that can be rewired. So you need to remind yourself you're not lazy, you're not scared, but you're also stronger than you fear, okay? You inspired me, and I'm daily doing a topic, then talking about my story. I absolutely love that. Yes. Good morning, Myra. Yesterday was faceless content. Today is 4 content pillars. Keep me accountable. Yes. This is what I love to hear. Myra, good morning. This is absolutely what I love to hear, period. Okay? And I need you, and can I just say this, because you need to set realistic goals, okay? Very important. I want you to break down large goals into smaller, achievable steps to maintain the momentum for you to be able to celebrate that progress that you make, okay? Number 8, ask for help. Don't be afraid to seek guidance or support from experienced people, right? Or your mentors, okay? If you have purchased anything from me, you know that I am here to guide you every step of the way, okay? Don't be afraid, and don't feel like the question is stupid. Angel, good morning. No question is stupid, okay? The more you think about it, right, the more you're going to remain paralyzed. I need you to just ask, okay? And allow to get that help, okay? So that you are no longer stuck. Good morning. Number 9, again, we are going to treat ourselves with kindness and understanding, especially when facing challenges. Okay? By recognizing and addressing these self-sabotaging behaviors, right? As digital marketers, we can increase the chances of success and achieve any goals we set for ourselves, right? Remember, self-sabotage doesn't mean you're not capable, right? It just means your mind is trying to protect you from risk, right? But you're not here to play safe, right? You're here to build wealth, freedom, and the life you love, right? So we're not about dreaming. We are about taking action, about making shit happen. So I need you to, this is a reminder for you all. You're not behind. Your voice is needed, right? Your story matters. You have every right to take up space in this online industry, right? There's no perfect time to launch, right? Post or show up. But there is right now. You need to do it right now. The time is now, not later. The version of you who gets results doesn't wait to feel confident, right? She builds confidence by doing, by taking action, right? So this week, I want you to do one thing that scares you, one thing that's messy, right? One thing your future self will thank you for. That's how we stop sabotaging and start scaling, okay? I want you to drop a couple of mic drops in there because I know I'm preaching. We're going to show up messy, scared, with fear. We are going to show up anyways, okay? So remember that tomorrow I will not be live, right? But I'm going to walk you through how to stop getting in your way and start building like content, right? With consistency, confidence, and clarity for Friday. You will definitely catch me Friday. I'm going to pause there and see if anybody has any question because yes, I actually have 10 empowerment affirmations for you and one empowerment mantra. 40K. I knew you guys can show up for me. Yes, that's what I mean. I show up for you. You guys show up for me. Right? So any questions? Any questions? I have about 3 minutes left. So ask away. If not, I'll give you the affirmations. Okay. No questions. So number 1, I am worthy of success and impact, right? Number 2, I take aligned action even when I feel afraid. Number 3, I show up boldly because my message matters. Number 4, I am done playing small. I deserve to be seen. Period. Yes, you do. Number 5, I trust myself to figure it out as I go. Number 6, my past does not define my potential. Number 7, I take imperfection action daily and grow from it. Okay. Number 8, I attract opportunities by being unapologetically me, period. Okay. Number 9, I am capable, qualified, and called to this work. FYP. Number 10, I am no longer my own roadblock. I am my greatest asset. You missed 1, 2, 3. I got you. Okay, number 1, I am worthy of success and impact. Number 2, I take aligned action even when I feel afraid. Okay. Number 3, I show up boldly because my message matters. And let me just repeat number 10. Thank you so much, Lorraine, for my goal, because number 10, I felt number 10. I am no longer my own roadblock. I am my greatest asset. You are your greatest asset. Guys, you are your brand. You are your brand. And remember, how are you going to really like showcase that brand is through storytelling. Your story matters, okay? And last but not least, let me leave you with an empowerment mantra, right? Mantra was one of the mindset strategies that I used to do every single day when I started to take this business serious, right? And I would just tell one mantra to myself, right? I am unstoppable every single day. This one is differently. It's more like empowerment, right? I am not here to play it safe. I am here to rise, to serve, and to shine. That is, for example, a mantra that you can take on and tell yourself that mantra every day, right? Until you start believing it, okay? Because that is the reality of working on mindset, okay? So I need to jump off, guys, because I do need to drive into the office. Once again, I will not be live tomorrow, but you guys can catch me Friday. Friday, we are freestyling. We are celebrating any goals that we accomplish for the week, and we are going to talk anything you want to talk about. Popular. We're gonna be popular. Of course you wanted to get that thing in, Tiana. Have an amazing day, everyone, and I will see you all Friday. Yes, I am putting this live on my YouTube channel, okay? So if you missed yesterday's live on self-doubt and limiting beliefs, is already on my channel, and give me at least like 2 hours and it will be up there. All right, have a wonderful day. Bye. See you Friday.